Welcome to the Franklin County Board of Commissioners General Session for June 27th, 2023. For those of you that are joining us by phone, if you please remember to mute your lines. This is a public meeting, and we will begin this morning's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Crowley.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. We're going to jump around a little bit here, and we're going to begin this morning's meeting with some guests that are here. Resolution 516-23 under Community Partnerships.
Resolution number 51623. Resolution authorizing a COVID-19 recovery grant with The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center to provide support for a pandemic floor in the amount of $3,200,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Tlarik with the Office of Management and Budget. As stated in the title, this resolution would provide $3.2 million as the COVID-19 recovery grant to The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center to establish a pandemic floor that will include a dedicated exhaust system that will enable an increase in the number of beds operating as full airborne infection isolation rooms as we prepare the community for the next pandemic. At this point, I'd like to turn over to our guest. I know Trudy Bartley and the rest of the team from Ohio State University has a few words to say.
Good morning. Commissioner President O'Grady, Commissioner Crowley, and I know Commissioner Boyce is not here today, but he's been intimate with this body of work. My name is Jay Anderson. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. I'm joined today by Dr. Andy Thomas, our Chief Clinical Officer at the Wexner Medical Center. On behalf of our faculty, staff, and learners, we'd like to thank you, the county, for supporting the medical center in this investment into our new inpatient tower. This $3.2 million will be transformational to what that building is going to be able to achieve. You've challenged us throughout the entire process of our discussions here, asking us a lot about the importance of the building and the importance of this investment. I'd like to talk just briefly about the building. If you think about it, there's two major themes I'd ask you to consider. Number one, why the new building? About half the building is replacement of 440 beds in our Roads and Doan facilities. Built in the 1950s and 1980s, they are no longer contemporary for what you would expect of us as your premier academic medical center, what the county expects of us, the citizens, not here in the county, but across the entire state. That's part of our responsibilities, make sure we have the contemporary facilities. The second half of it, we all know the growth that we're experiencing. We want to thank you for the foresight that you've had and so many investments that have attracted so many companies and families to come to our communities. We have a responsibility as your state institution, your state medical center, to meet those demands. And so the additional 400 beds are going to enable the growth that our community is going to need. Probably won't enable all the growth, but it's going to be a first step to meet the needs of our communities. We're excited about this project. I think this is the largest project the Ohio State University has ever taken on. A couple fun facts to think about. There is more steel in that tower, which is just about to be enclosed. I think you've all seen. There's more steel in that than there's twice as much steel as in there as in the Eiffel Tower. There's twice as much concrete in the building than there is in the Horseshoe. A fact that we like to hold over our athletic director to say. Not that we're a competitive lot over at the Ohio State University. But we're proud of this, and we're proud of the challenge that each of you gave us to say the goal cannot be just to build something new. We have to have foresight. We have to challenge ourselves to lead into the future. And I want you to know we take that responsibility to take that investment and use it incredibly well, and happy to be accountable to you and come back at any time to share the work that we're doing and the growth that we're doing and meeting that commitment that you've so graciously given to us. And he's going to share a little bit more about how directly we're going to use that investment.
Thank you, Jay. Good morning. My name is Andy Thomas. I'm the Wolf Foundation Chief Clinical Officer at the Wexner Medical Center. And during the pandemic, I served as the Zone 2 lead for the state of Ohio, helping hospitals in 36 counties across the central, southeastern, and south central parts of the state of Ohio. Even though the COVID pandemic is in many ways the impetus for this new partnership around this funding, and we so appreciate it. The cooperation with Joe Mazzola and Dr. Miller-Sullivan goes back many, many years, thinking about collaborations around H1N1, Ebola, Zika, a mumps outbreak on campus. We work with them routinely. COVID-19 was just the latest time when we've had the chance to partner with the county, with the city obviously as well, on these efforts. When you think about where we were in the planning of the new hospital at the time the pandemic came along, had the pandemic come along 12 months later, it would have been too late to make some of these changes. The room design that we've been able to integrate with the learnings of what we had from the first 6 to 9 months of the COVID pandemic has helped us, whether it's from a technology perspective, from a space perspective, or just understanding the flow of patients. One of the key elements with a respiratory illness is oftentimes you need what's called negative airflow. So you exhaust the air from the room directly to the outside of the building so it doesn't spread in the hallways or spread to other patient rooms. We always had a small percentage of the rooms on that floor equipped to be negative airflow, but now we've actually extended that to the entire floor. We put in a number of facilities projects in the early days of the pandemic to provide space to keep nurses safe as they went into ICU rooms, to allow them to don and doff their PPE inside the room, but yet not be exposed to the patient. We're now going to be building that into all of these rooms. We had never thought that that would be necessary under our previous concepts of how many of these rooms we needed. So the technology also that we're putting in the rooms to allow family members to beam into rooms with a large footwall TV that will allow family to be there for rounds virtually if there's ever a point in time where we need to go to reduced visitation. As we all know, that was a huge struggle, not just for patients and their families, but also a struggle for our staff who were oftentimes serving as comfort and caregivers to patients beyond their medical needs when their families were not able to visit. We hope we never get back to that again, but now we'll be more prepared. So the partnership with the county goes back many, many years on these sorts of issues, and we really, really appreciate your support to allow us to retrofit the design to really meet the needs for, hopefully, we won't have one, but for the next pandemic if one does occur. Thank you. Be happy to take any questions.
Commissioner, do you?
I don't have any questions. I think I asked all my questions when I met with your team when the proposal came across my desk. I really appreciate you all being here this morning. As we have talked about, especially with administration, that people might ask, why would we invest? Why would the county invest $3.2 million, given that it's like $1 billion, more than $1 billion project? $3.2 million seems kind of insignificant in that investment, but for us at the county, it is invaluable when we think about our preparedness and how we continue to meet the needs of our neighbors. God forbid that there is another pandemic or epidemic. We know that it probably, as Administrator Wilson said the other day in briefing, that it probably won't be another 100 or so years before we see something like that. But in the event that we do, we will be prepared. And so we thank you for your partnership and thank you for your continued service to every resident every day, making sure that all of our residents not only survive but thrive. So thank you.
Thank you.
We certainly appreciate the continued partnership that we have with the university and with the medical center. And as you mentioned, Mr. Anderson, earlier, the facilities need to continue. Ohio State is a Class 1, facility and educational facility, training facility. And, as I like to refer to myself as patient one at the Ross, I'm there so often. Matter of fact, I'll be there tomorrow. But when the facilities do age and they do get older, and you have to stay current and stay on top of all of those changes, and the growth is necessary, and so to stay in touch with and keep up with all of the ever-changing needs and medical increase or advances. It's important. It's important not just for the facility and for the for the university, but it's also important for the community. It's important for the state. It's important for the region. You know, as somebody who's been a patient who has needed those facilities and has needed that care, I can tell you that it's nice to be in a community that has such a great facility right here in our backyard, right here in this, you know, and every time I check in, they say, you know, somebody asks me, you know, do you live nearby? And it's amazing to me that there are people in this state that travel across the state, sometimes across the region, sometimes across the country, and even potentially the world to access the care that is available at the university. So, and being also a patient at the Cleveland Clinic, you know, to have two facilities like this in this same state, the same region is pretty amazing. And so, and I only bring up the Cleveland Clinic to say, you know, that's not only is that a great facility to also have in the state, but it's also a competitor and somebody who, or a facility that you know, you guys rely on in some ways to work with and to I don't know if that necessarily to use the word compete against, but because they're there, it drives the university to be better. And so, and it all is at the benefit of the residents of the state of Ohio and the residents of Franklin County. And so we're proud to be a part of this and to be able to move this resolution forward this morning. So thank you.
All right, if there are no comments or additional comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 51623.
Second,
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
yes.
Resolution number 51623 has been adopted.
Thank you. All right. Now we'll go back to the Clerk of Courts.
Resolution number 51123, resolution authorizing a lease modification and extension with the Ohio Department of Public Safety, Bureau of Motor Vehicles for the Clerk of Courts East Auto Title Branch in the amount of $1.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sean Reeder, Fiscal Officer for the Clerk of Courts. This lease with the state dates back to 2012 under Resolution 244-12. The Clerk's East Auto Title Branch occupies 2,860 square feet of offices and customer service space at the state's 1583 Alum Creek Drive Service Center. The collaboration with the state provides a convenient venue for the citizens and businesses of Franklin County to conduct their motor vehicle titling and licensing activities. Today's resolution renews the lease for 2 years with effective dates of July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2025. Pending any questions, the clerk's office respectfully requests approval of Resolution 511-23.
All right, if there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 511-23.
Second,
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
yes.
Resolution number 51123 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Sean. The engineer,
Resolution number 51223, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Engineer to enter into a contract modification with the Manick Smith Group Incorporated for construction inspection services in the amount of $21,000 for a revised contract amount of $393,837.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brad Foster, Franklin County Engineer's Office, representing Cornell Robertson, the Franklin County Engineer. Commissioners, our first resolution seeks approval of a contract modification for the Manick Smith Group for construction inspection services. The Manick Smith Group has efficiently assisted the Engineer's Office with construction engineering and inspection on several capital improvement projects over the past 2 construction seasons. This contract modification will authorize funds for the Manick and Smith to assist finalizing our Elliott and Hayden Run Road Drainage Improvement Project. Pending any questions, I ask for the board's approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 512-23.
second,
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 512-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 513-23, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Engineer to enter into a contract modification with Terracon Consultants Incorporated for construction inspection services in the amount of $27,735 for a revised contract amount of $226,624.
Commissioners, our next resolution seeks approval of a contract modification with Terracon Consultants for construction inspection services. Terracon has efficiently assisted the engineer's office with construction engineering and inspection on the Fisher Road Widening Improvement Project at the Franklin County Corrections Facility. The contract modification will authorize funds for Terracon to assist with additional water service, installation, and close out the project. Pending any questions, I ask for the board's approval.
If there are no okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 513-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 513-23 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
All right, to the sheriff.
Resolution number 495-23, resolution authorizing the county administrator to sign agreements on behalf of the Board of Commissioners to provide data to Falcon Correctional and Community Services Incorporated for the purpose of improving inmate health operations.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Albert Smith, Assistant Finance Director for the Sheriff's Office. Our first resolution authorizes an agreement with Falcon Correctional and Community Services to provide data from our jail to help create a predictive analytical tool for suicide prevention in jails nationally. We are one of 5 jails participating from different regions of the U.S. In return, we will be provided this free predictive analytical tool. We will also participate in their national pilot program. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 495-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 495-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 496-23, resolution authorizing a supplemental appropriation within the LETF Federal DOJ Fund to purchase vehicles for the Recruitment, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Division.
Commissioners, our next resolution authorizes supplemental appropriations for our Recruitment, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Division. We're requesting the funds to be allocated to our LETF Federal DOJ Fund to purchase these vehicles. Fund 2039 has plenty of cash to support this request. These vehicles will be utilized to conduct official business for the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 496-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 496-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 514-23, resolution authorizing the county administrator to sign an equipment loan agreement to allow the use of athletic training and recovery equipment from The Ohio State University on behalf of its School of Health and Rehabilitation Sciences to the Franklin County Sheriff's Office.
Commissioners, our final resolution authorizes an agreement with the Ohio State University to provide equipment on loan from OSU's School of Health and Rehabilitation Sciences. The Sheriff's Office will utilize this equipment for physical recovery and improved human performance of its employees. Pending any questions, I ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 514-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 514-23 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right, thanks, Albert.
Thanks.
The Emergency Management Agency.
Resolution number 515-23, resolution authorizing the Franklin County Administrator and the Director of Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security to execute a license and use agreement with the Franklin County Convention Facilities Authority for a possible emergency response center and authorizing the Director of Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security to be the designated agent for administration purposes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeff Young, representing Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security. This resolution is authorizing an agreement with the Greater Columbus Convention Facilities Authority, allowing us to use space and services at the Convention Center if there's a need for an emergency response center, and most specifically, a family or victim assistance center. Family assistance centers are a temporary, singular location intended to support multiple agencies such as the Red Cross, public health, mental health providers, social services, the coroner, and other recovery or victim service agencies. These agencies provide information and support to those impacted by disasters as well as large-scale casualty or fatality incidents. In some cases, the creation of a family assistance center and recovery services are the legal responsibility of a predefined party, such as the case of an airline incident where the air carrier is legislated to provide the location of many of the necessary services, and at other times, there may be a better or more appropriate location to utilize for these services. In the situation a gap does exist, there is a need for us to create a support and assistance center. This agreement, developed with the assistance of the prosecutor's office and the Convention Authority's legal counsel, puts in place a pre-approved safety net that I hope we never need to utilize, but it does create flexibility for the county administration and Board of Commissioners to quickly assist victims, their families, and the community during a recovery process. Because this need and usage is intended to be temporary and involve a reasonably small footprint within the convention center, it carries a not-to-exceed amount of $45,000, allowing for immediate activation upon consultation and authorization by the county administrator. If additional services or a longer time of availability is necessary, having this in place creates the time to evaluate and approve additional resources without causing delay in the initial support. Thank you, and I'll gladly answer any questions you may have and ask for approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 515-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 515-23 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks, Director.
Thanks.
All right, back to community partnerships.
Resolution number 517-23. Resolution authorizing a one-year grant agreement with the Rise Together Innovation Institute in support of their strategic roadmap in the amount of $2,500,000.
Good morning again, Commissioners. This resolution would authorize a $2.5 million agreement with the Rise Together Innovation Institute related to the county's commitment that had been, the monies had been set aside in contingency to provide to the Rise Together Innovation Institute to meet their strategic roadmap. So this would include operationalizing goals from the action monitoring tool, identifying and developing strategic initiatives, research scalable projects in areas that align to the blueprint priority areas of jobs, housing, health, and youth. Pending any questions, would ask for approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 517-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 517-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 518-23. Resolution authorizing COVID-19 recovery grant agreements to various Franklin County nonprofit organizations to assist with various capital improvement and expansion projects in the amount of $3,701,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. County Administration, Curtis Brown, Community Partnerships Administrator. This resolution will authorize a COVID-19 recovery grant to 6 nonprofit organizations in the amount of $3,701,000 to assist with various capital improvement projects. The application for the capital grant opened on March 8th and closed on April 5th and was open to nonprofit organizations across Franklin County. Each applicant could apply for up to $1 million of funding for their capital project. There are 3 tiers that were implemented to help provide more equity among applicants. Tier 3 consists of funding requests totaling between $500,000 and $1 million. Today's resolution is for Tier 3 grantees only. We receive applications from over 120 nonprofit organizations, and each organization was required to provide information such as the location of where their capital project was located, who the organization served, and how the project would benefit the surrounding community, how their project related to the goals and action steps of the Rise Together Poverty Blueprint, and how the project would assist in making their organization and service delivery more sustainable. The funds for this grant will help to strengthen the human service fabric in Franklin County by assisting organizations to improve their service space and welcome new and returning residents. And if there are no comments or questions, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 518-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 518-23 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Curtis. All right, the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion.
Resolution number 519-23, resolution authorizing a grant agreement with TechCore Ohio for support of the TechCore Hackathon in the amount of $60,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Tamika Bumper, Economic Equity Administrator for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This agreement is with TechCore Ohio for the support of the TechCore Hack. TechCore is the longest operating education technology nonprofit organization in the United States. For more than 25 years, TechCore has worked to ensure K-12 students have equal access to technology skills, programs, and resources that will enrich their education today and prepare them for college and career tomorrow. TechCore's mission is threefold, and it is achieved through programs, people, and partners. Through programs, they design computer science and IT programs that are rigorous, relevant, and fun. These programs range from awareness to exploration to immersion. Through people, they recruit, train, and support technology talent to implement TechCore's programs. Through its partners, they work with partners who believe as they do and together provide students and teachers access to programs designed to educate, excite, and empower. Additionally, their commitment to inclusion aligns with the Franklin County Board of Commissioners' efforts to achieve equity across its programs and services. TechCore's, this agreement is for the sponsorship for 20 teams of 100 high school students to participate in the TechCore's Hack, which is a 12-hour event that gives high school students the opportunity to learn about computer science in a fun and an engaging environment that promotes inclusivity and diversity. This event is going to take place on November 11th, 2023. This resolution supports the Rise Together Blueprint Goal number 11, increasing the number of students at or near the poverty level experiencing academic success. Lisa Chambers, the National Executive Director for TechCore, is here today with, she's going to provide more details about the event and answer any questions that you may have. After Ms. Chambers' remarks and pending any questions, we will request your approval of this resolution.
Good morning, Commissioners. I just want to thank you for your continued support of TechCore and our work to prepare our next generation of workforce here. As many of you know, Black and brown students are significantly underrepresented in the field of computer science, which means a strain on our workforce. There's been so much focus in the last couple of years with the introduction of Intel into our space and that talk about the workforce. We are not going to be able to fill these jobs unless we are casting a wide net and making sure that we're preparing students early. You know, we believe that the technology workforce pipeline begins actually in 4th grade. And so we are deeply grateful for your continued support. This hackathon is an amazing experience. While it's one day, it's such an impactful experience for the students that participate that we have now seen students who started their technology journey in that hackathon are now employed in technology roles with employers like JPMorgan Chase and Nationwide here locally. So we just want to thank you for your continued support of the work that we're doing here in Franklin County. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take those.
I don't have any questions. I just want to make a statement and just highlight, thank you for all that you do for our kiddos and exposing them to STEM and STEAM opportunities, and especially in the tech field. I agree. I think the earlier they can be exposed, then they have the opportunity to, decide on what path they want to take and really, foster that excitement and learning. But I want to highlight that for the community partnerships, part of that $3.7 million was $750,000 for Girl Scouts, and that's for their new, I forget the name of the new campus that they're building. I should know, I was like a champion for it. I can't remember, but it's for like STEM and learning. It's like a new campus, and so I just really appreciate my colleagues, this administration for just really understanding and getting, like we always say, like we just get it, right? And how like the opportunities for our kiddos for learning, but especially in the tech and STEAM field. And so, yeah, just really excited about the hackathon. I know it's always a success. Every year, the ask has increased, but the number of children who participate, increases as well. And so, I like these feel-good resolutions. So thank you for all that you continue to do, and just thank you for my colleagues for just always getting it. Yeah,
Thank you, Commissioner Crowley.
absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Well, I love the work that TechCore does, and I love the fact that we support the work that TechCore does. I mean, the vast majority of the work that's being done in the area of what's it called, is being done in Taiwan, and the fact that now we have Intel here that's doing that type of work, or that's going to be doing that type of work, but we have just a huge amount of catch up to do. And so the fact that you're starting so young with these kids, and because it's going to take years for us in the U.S. to catch up in this field, and so the fact that we're starting so young is fantastic, because it's going to take us a long time, and so hopefully we'll always be here to support you and to support these kids and to support the work that they're going to do and the futures that they're going to have. So love it. So, thank you.
So it was called the STEM Leadership Center and Makerspace. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Clerk. It was going to bother me. She knew that. That's why she sent it to me. But it was the Dream Big initiative. But I mean, I appreciate, and I know you probably will partner. And that's what it's about, is like leveraging, county dollars for the bigger initiative. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say that's what it is. The STEM Leadership Center and Makerspace. Great. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. He's the one who can tell you to speak or not.
Just really quick, I am a huge fan of you, Lisa Jack. I really am, and I really appreciate the work that you all do, because I believe these dollars, as well as the commissioners, I'm sure, this is a generational impact, right? These dollars will reap generationally. And I also appreciate your partnership and always willing to align and come alongside and work with us in whatever we pull you into. So that was a leading statement, so get ready. Thank you.
Please. Sorry. Administrator Wilson.
Kenneth Wilson, County Administrator. Yes, Ms. Chambers, I very much appreciate the partnership we've had over the years. I remember we had the young lady that went through our program that went on to, you mentioned J.P. Morgan Chase, and I won't forget her coming and sharing with us her story at General Session. And in some ways, that planted the seed for Tech Women of Color and an initiative there in our relationship with Per Scholar. So this is a continuation of the dreaming big for our youth, particularly youth of color, they have more opportunities to be something that they didn't necessarily see originally, but through exposure, they're able to see, I can be a scientist, I can be an engineer, I can be a certified computer software engineer. I'm afraid about AI, but AI is with us. So to be an expert in artificial intelligence, all these opportunities are there. And the Board of Commissioners always preached to us inclusiveness. So when we hear an announcement of a new $7.8 billion investment, my mind immediately goes to how do we work to ensure that as a community we're operating in an inclusive fashion, because we up against something that's very stubborn, and that's poverty. The fourth leading cause of death in 2023, according to studies. That is just an amazing challenge for us. But through partnerships like yours, I'm optimistic that we're going to continue to be innovative and make a difference and keep up with the fact that we're going to be a growing community from a population standpoint. Thank you.
And I would just like to say that you all have allowed us to focus in on a population of students that are often left behind in terms of these opportunities. And so when you talk about that generational change, they're changing their lives, but even their parents, their families. We had a student just this last week coming to sign up for our summer youth employment program who brought her brother in. She's now employed in technology, and again, she got her start in this space in TechCore, not in school, because she hadn't yet seen herself in that role. And so when we talk about just this work that we're able to do together, we are just really grateful for the lives that we're changing. Thank you.
Thank you. There are no additional comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 51923.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 51923 has been adopted.
Thank you, Tamika.
Thank you.
Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 52023, resolution authorizing an affordable housing development agreement with KCG Ascent Ventures LLC to receive funding through the Magnet Fund program to assist the development of an affordable housing project in the amount of $1,350,000.
Good morning, Commissioners, Administrators, staff. My name is Emmanuel Torres, Assistant Director of Economic Development and Planning. And this resolution, again, is for an affordable housing development agreement with KCG Ascent Ventures LLC from the 2022 application round of the Magnet Fund program. The KCG Ascent Ventures collectively has developed over 2,200 units and has been developing, owning, and managing affordable housing projects since 2015. For this project, KCG Ascent Ventures intends to invest approximately $63 million. They will deliver 264 units of affordable housing appropriate for a variety of populations with options ranging from 1 to 4 bedroom units. The project, named Retreat at Scioto Creek, will be located at 4646 Hall Road, Columbus, which is in the greater Hilltop community. All units will be affordable at 60% or below of the area median income. The amount to be granted through the Magnet Fund is $1,350,000. Joining us virtually today, representing the KCG Ascent Ventures, is Michael Rodriguez, Principal, Senthil Rajakrishnan, who's a consultant for the project, and Nick Thompson, Director of Finance. Pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Mr. President, we do have a speaker slip that we received for this resolution, if I may.
Please.
We have a Reverend Leister here. Reverend, if you'd like to go to the podium,
Have
please.
Reverend Leister speak first.
Yes. So Reverend, you will have 3 minutes to speak. There's a light device that will show you the time, and then as you're winding down, it'll go to yellow and red as you have 1 minute remaining. We do have the right to terminate remarks if they are disrespectful or antagonistic in any way, and you may begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Thank you for allowing us to speak on behalf of this resolution. My name is Reverend Charles Leister. I'm here representing the Bread Organization, and we remember that back in 2019, we applauded the creation of the Magnet Fund, and we were thrilled that the fund has met its goal 7 years ahead of schedule and helped over 2,000 households within Franklin County. We want to continue to celebrate you for the millions of dollars allocated so far in emergency rental assistance and affordable housing. In fact, we were disappointed that you were not able to attend the Nehemiah Action where we publicly celebrated your accomplishments and your efforts on behalf of affordable housing. Even with this wonderful work done so far, we know that there is more needed for the crisis in our communities of Central Ohio. We're here today because there are people who sleep on the streets today and in tents and in their cars because housing is just too expensive. We believe that you, as we are, agree that this is unacceptable. Our focus is on families that make less than $30,000 a year. These are families who take care of our children and grandchildren. They keep our officers in schools clean. They make our food at local restaurants, and they assemble parts at factories and fill orders. We know that you agree with us that these people need affordable housing. In fact, last week, the Columbus Dispatch reported that only 3 of the top 10 jobs in Ohio pay enough to afford housing. We're sure that you also saw the Dispatch last week that said there's a 20% increase in homelessness since last year, and food banks are seeing an unprecedented need for assistance.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Franklin County has a unique opportunity for additional investment in affordable housing with the remaining American Rescue Plan dollars. We request the county put at least $30 million of that money in affordable housing, especially for those making $30,000 or less. As we approach Independence Day, we ask the question, how can people truly be independent if they don't have an affordable place to live? We want to remind you that as we celebrate the holiday in our homes, that we remember those that have need of affordable housing. We thank you for being able to meet with Commissioner Crawley in the past, and we're looking forward to opportunity meeting with Commissioner O'Grady and Commissioner Boyce, as well as Administrator Wilson, to work together to identify additional solutions and resources to address this crisis in our community. We have to remind you of our holiday and of the idea of being independent by having affordable housing. Thank you.
I can take it for you.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you
Thanks
so
so
much. Thank you very much.
Please.
Thank you, Reverend Leister, for your remarks. Really appreciate it. And just, I appreciate the continued advocacy of BREAD. Want to just continue to, highlight, and I think, I have the honor and privilege of serving on this board with 2 really great colleagues who, and an administration that wakes up every single day and try to figure out what can we do to help our residents, our neighbors in Franklin County. I think there's not a day that goes by where we're not talking about housing, right? And I am proud of the investments that we have made, that we continue to make, whether it's in our shelters with the YWCA, the YMCA, the Community Shelter Board. We just gave a little over $2 million last week. Carly Booth was here. I forget the name of her organization. And so we understand, I think last week when we were here and had the resolutions for our emergency rental assistance, we understand that the eviction numbers, right, are higher than what they were pre-pandemic. We understand that people still experience more month than money. And so we will continue to invest. We're proud of our Magnet Fund that we are way ahead of schedule. And Economic Development and Planning has been charged with what is our new goal? What is our new initiative? How do we support our residents when it comes to housing, especially those that are at 50% AMI and below? But I also want to just say that it's not just about housing, right? Like, housing is the big elephant in the room that we address every day. But the other thing that we address is making sure that when people do get into a safe, affordable place to live, that they can maintain it. And so we invest in workforce development. We invest in those individuals who find themselves unemployed or underemployed and give them opportunities to move up an economic mobility ladder so they can be self-sufficient. And so I'm proud of those, whether it's Tech Women of Color, Building Futures, Driving Futures, Rose to Work, I already said Tech Women, County Futures, Women at Work. So as much as, there is the need for housing, there's the need for people to be able to have an income and take care of themselves and be able to keep a roof over their head, water running, lights on, and food on the table where they don't have to make those hard decisions on do I eat today or do I pay a bill. And so I just wanted to highlight that. But, your remarks about our American Rescue Plan dollars is not lost on us. As I met with individuals from BREAD last month, I talked about how, it would be, I think people really don't understand all of the need that the county has. And so while it would be good to say we've spent all of our American Rescue Plan dollars, I'm glad that we have not. We have until next year to, really appropriate them until 2026 to expend them. And every single day there's a new emergency in this county. Housing still being at the forefront, but we have to be, when it comes to taxpayer dollars, obviously we are a fiduciary and are responsible for those dollars, but also making sure that when emergencies arise or that there is a need, like we see whether it's a Sawyer Tower or something else, that we're able to meet those needs and make sure that those residents who had housing, who then had to be evacuated in an emergency situation, then had temporary housing, and then we work to make sure that they can get permanent solutions. Those are the things that we can anticipate, and we need money to do that, and we used American Rescue Plan dollars for that. And so, again, I'm not going to belabor the point. I digress and say your comments are not lost on us. You will not find bigger advocates for housing for our 1.3 million residents than what you have here at the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. All right, and if there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 520-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yep.
Resolution number 52023 has been adopted.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Emmanuel. And to Job and Family Services. I'm sorry, before we do that, I should have done this before, but I'd like to recognize in the front row, we have with us from the Central Ohio retired firefighters, Marco Miller. Thank you, Marco, for coming today. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for, by the way, as well, for all the everything that the firefighters do for us on a daily basis throughout the community. So thank you. All right, and on to Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 52123, resolution authorizing a novation agreement and a subaward amendment with the Derek L. Owens Group, LLC, for adult court diversion alternative services for an increase of $99,000 for a total of $459,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Chief Administrator. By connecting residents with services like workforce readiness training and treatment referrals, the team at the Owens Group is able to assist them with the low-level offenses, with diversion activities to avoid the potential of incarceration. Since the start of this contract period in October of 2022, the Owens Group has provided intervention and diversion services for over 180 TANF-eligible residents. However, the need for these diversion services is on the rise. So this amendment will permit the Owens Group to assist an additional 71 residents, TANF-eligible residents, facing criminal and traffic issues with the Reynoldsburg, Whitehall, and Franklin County court systems. All other terms of the agreement remain unchanged. This resolution also supports goal number 4 of your Rise Together blueprint. And I would say we're so pleased to have the Owens Group CEO, Derek Owens, and our Whitehall City Attorney, Michael Bivens, join us this morning to talk a bit more about the program and its impact in the Whitehall Mayor's Court. Thank you for joining us. I'll turn it over. I believe they're at the podium now.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you, Chief Turner. Excuse me. A little bit about the Owens Group. The Owens Group was born out of a vision by City Attorney Michael Bivens. When he took office, he came to me and he said, listen, I want my court to be different. I don't want it to be the traditional hamster wheel where people come in, they take charges, and no assistance has been done. So he came to me and he said, what can we do to make this different? As a result of that, we dug deep into figuring out how do we help the clients, not just come to court, have a charge removed, but to make sure that they move forward with the ability to be self-sufficient and to get these records sealed. So since we were born in 2019, as a result of that, here it is 2023, and we have served over 2,000 clients, both with Jobs and Family Services, along with Justice Policy and Programming. And I'm here to just say thank you to the Commission for your continued support. And I also want to thank City Attorney Michael Bivens and his efforts to do all he can to make the community safer.
It's okay. To the commissioners, county administrators, and all those involved in here today, again, I am Michael Bivens. I'm the Whitehall City Attorney. And while this idea was born in the Whitehall Mayor's Court, certainly the Owens Group deserves all of the credit for carrying the water and doing the work as it relates to this important thing. Just as way of background, one of the things that I always battled against as a practicing lawyer when I did defense work is battling what I had always termed this false ideology of pedantic thinking. And that is the inability to look at things from the big picture perspective. And so once I was elected as the Whitehall City Attorney, I made it my mission to attack this issue from a big picture perspective. As a criminal defense attorney, I had many occasions where individuals would get a piece of paper and they would be given the task of contacting an agency, making a phone call, setting an appointment, and then by the time we came back to court the next time, they were not able to fulfill those duties and we were not able to get the case diverted. And so I tell everyone that's within my ears, within earshot, we did not invent diversion, but what we did is we changed the delivery. We changed the way it was delivered. And what we did with the Owens Group in particular is we have a culturally competent champion of this service in the courtroom. And the way that it's delivered in such a way that because the county commissioners are also big picture thinkers, it's delivered in a way that not only are the individuals in the justice community rising together, they're rising to the expectation because the trap door is taken away. They're meeting someone right in the courtroom with the cultural competency, with the heart, with the vision to actually help them in the moment. And because of that, they rise to the expectation, they meet the moment, and they get the job done. And here's the last part that I will say. Since they've been in the Whitehall Mayor's Court, we've serviced over 1,000 to maybe 1,500 justice-involved clients, justice-involved residents. And because of the wraparound services and because of the way that this service has been delivered, I am proud to be able to say that of all of those 1,000, 1,500 people, I have a 0% recidivism of the cases in Whitehall Mayor's Court. And so the investment that the county is making into this program, it works. The data's there. It's clear. Certainly, if I could ask for more money at a certain point for this method of delivery, I'm certain you would not oppose me in doing that. But thank you, county commissioners, for caring about the justice-involved residents of Franklin County, and thank you for Derek Owens for allowing me to speak on your behalf. Thank you. I appreciate it.
If I may, President O'Grady, just a few comments, no questions. I'm going to use, and of course she wouldn't be in here today, Director Pride's phrase that the best, I think is the best, I'm gonna mess it up. The best reentry is no entry into our criminal justice system. And so just really appreciate all that you all do to really help our neighbors who may have found themselves in a situation and just need opportunities to, do something different and make better choices. So thank you, City Attorney Bivens, for your vision and your leadership, and then finding a partner who is just as committed to serving our residents and, helping them get on a better path. So thank you for your partnership. Thank you.
Well, thanks for all this great work. Who knew you were going to quote Director Pride this morning? But anyway, thanks for everything you guys are doing. Appreciate it.
If there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval Resolution 521-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 521-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 522-23. Resolution approving a COVID-19 recovery grant and TANF subaward with the Central with the Central Community House of Columbus Incorporated, doing business as Central Community House for the Transit Arts Youth Engagement and Employment Program in the amount of $219,661.76.
Commissioners, we're really proud of the resolutions that we bring today. The Transit Art Program, which operates out of the Central Community House, provides a creative outlet for youth by providing holistic supports to foster interest in the arts. Youth participating in transit arts programming gain exposure to creative forms of art from music theory, singing, songwriting, and production, to poetry, spoken word, visual arts, fashion, culinary arts, garden arts, event planning, public speaking, and everything in between. Central Community House will provide these outlets to foster creative expression and career exposure in a variety of artistic and creative fields. For a minimum of 150 low-income Franklin County youth and young adults participating in the summer or year-round programming. Over the summer, 20 young people, ages 14 to 21, will participate in a 9-week art-focused summer employment program, which offers training in essential workplace behaviors, including punctuality, professionalism, and teamwork, along with 21st century workplace skills like critical thinking and communications. They will have the opportunity to earn up to $1,350 this summer. During the year-round programming, this funding will support Transit Arts weekly work groups, which support creative engagement, soft skills development, and mentoring. Transit Arts will also hold monthly events related to violence disruption and offer a safe, creative space where youth can develop their emotional, professional, and academic skills. This resolution supports goal number 11 of our Rise Together Blueprint. And Commissioners, this resolution also reflects your recognition of gun violence as a public health crisis among our youth. Transit Art programs demonstrate your commitment to funding summer youth employment, school year and engagement activities to give our youngest residents alternatives to social isolation and mental stress that can pose risk for their safety and well-being. And I am pleased to be joined virtually today by the Central Community House Executive Director, Tammy Forrest, and the lead artist with Transit Arts, Jamal Joyce, joining us virtually.
Thank you so much. I couldn't have done a better job. Vivian, thank you for coming out to visit and learning about us. Thank you to the commissioners. I'm honored to be here among so many amazing partners. I'll take just a minute of your time and then pass it on to Jamal. Transit Arts is sometimes pigeonholed as an arts program. And as Vivian mentioned to you, it's so much more than that. It's this innovative model that has the culminating impact of employment, of after-school violence prevention, and arts programming together, and has been found to be the holistic model that's needed to support youth in Columbus and in Franklin County. We're entering the 32nd year of Transit Arts inception in the Short North. And because of this, we've been able to witness long-term impact on generations of participants. Just one former participant that we spoke to recently, now a parent of a current participant, reminded us that our program kept him out of the justice system while his 6 other siblings, not part of our program, were all incarcerated. In 2022, 90% of participants improved or maintained positive behavior, improved or maintained positive social emotional skills, and increased or maintained positive self-esteem. So we're building soft skills, we're building creative skills, we're building support systems, relationships, and we're a safe space for healing. The Disruptor series that was recently mentioned is new and is part of the ask of Franklin County today. It's going to provide a safe space, as was mentioned. It's going to allow youth to be free from the negative stereotypes that result from adultification. It has the intimate, smaller group settings that ensure youth are heard and can learn from one another. And it's going to have a specialized focus for young people that are impacted by violence or experiencing high-risk factors. I'm honored today to be here with Jamal, who came to Transit Arts as a participant and is now with us as an employee. Pass it on to him.
Thank you. Just want to say thank you to everybody before I get started. But
speaking about transit arts and kind of my experience, I started off as a high school student, kind of in the same position that some of these students in this workforce program and in our Disruptor series were in, where I felt like I was an artist, but I never felt like I had that confidence, that emotional like competence and experience to be able to actually call myself an artist and to be able to feel like I was secure in myself. And transit arts kind of gave me that. They gave me my first paycheck as an artist, and some of those kids are getting their first paycheck as an artist this summer just to come participate and be in a safe place and flourish their skills. So I think that's very impactful, and I'm looking forward to our Disruptor series that we're starting on Saturday, actually, which is just a place where, you know, kids can just come and just avoid the adultification, like Tammy mentioned, and talk about violence that they might have experienced, because a lot of our students have experienced gun violence or just violence in their lives. And we're going to sit down with them with local artists, and we're going to sit down and talk about coping strategies and just foster a safe place for 6 weeks. And then at the end of it, they get a little gift card. So it's just a great program that I feel like is super important that I want more people to know about. That's everything, really. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right, if there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 522-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 522-23 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a wonderful Tuesday.
Thanks,
You
Vivian. Sanitary engineer.
Resolution number 523-23, resolution authorizing a water pollution control loan fund application to the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency and the Ohio Water Development Authority for the engineering and design phase of the Gladys Ina Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project.
Morning, Commissioners. I'm Ryan Stowe with the Sanitary Engineer. Our resolution today, we're requesting the approval of a water pollution control loan fund application to the EPA and OWDA. Via Resolution 63322, the Franklin County Board of Commissioners submitted a nomination to the Water Pollution Control Loan Fund for financial assistance for the engineering and design phase of the Gladys Ina Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project. This project involves the design of approximately 2,800 linear feet of sanitary sewer mains within Ina Avenue and Gladys Road in our SD4 service area, which is located in Prairie Township. This project has been included on the final intended projects list from Ohio EPA as posted in January 2023. The total debt service obligation with 0% interest rate will be $77,831 with a repayment period of 5 years. The funding is jointly administered by Ohio EPA and Ohio Water Development Authority. The source of repayment for the loan will be the Sanitary Engineer Sewer Fund. This resolution also authorizes the county administrator to apply for the WPCLF loan, sign all documents for, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund agreement with the Ohio EPA and the Ohio Water Development Authority, and for engineering and design of our necessary infrastructure on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners. Pending any questions or comments, I respectfully request the passage of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 523-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 523-23 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 524-23, resolution authorizing amendment number 1 to the contract with Goodwill Industries of Central Ohio Incorporated to provide housekeeping services at designated Franklin County facilities in the amount of $524,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Alexander, Chief Operating Officer, Public Facilities Management. Resolution number 0076-20 authorized a contract with Goodwill Industries of Central Ohio Incorporated for the provision of housekeeping services at designated county facilities. In order to continue support to the designated Franklin County facilities, it is necessary to extend the contract for housekeeping services with Goodwill Industries of Central Ohio Incorporated for one additional 4-month period that shall be in effect from June 1st, 2023 through September 30th of 2023. Pending any questions, we request your approval of Amendment Number 1 with Goodwill Industries of Central Ohio Incorporated.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 524-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 524-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 525-23, resolution authorizing a supplemental contract with Sauer Group Incorporated for the provision of coolers and freezer replacement services for the Franklin County Office Tower, 16th floor, in the amount of $352,730.
This resolution authorizes a supplemental contract with the Sauer Group Incorporated, a local firm, for the provision of cooler and freezer replacement services for Franklin County Office Towers, 16th floor food service operation. This is a firm fixed price contract and the services are offered under the state term schedule. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 525-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 525-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 526-23, resolution authorizing a supplemental contract with Limbach Company LLC for the provision of air handling unit replacement services for the Franklin County Sheriff's Substation in the amount of $347,456.
The final resolution authorizes a supplemental contract with Limbach Company LLC, a local firm, for the provision of air handling unit replacement services for the Franklin County Sheriff's Substation located at 1945 Phoebus Avenue. This is a firm fixed price contract and the services are offered under the state term schedule. This project is part of PFM's ongoing facility preservation activities. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
No comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 526-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 526-23 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks,
Everyone
Vivian.
have a great day.
You too.
You too. Human Resources.
Resolution number 527-23, resolution declaring personal property obsolete and no longer needed for Franklin County use and authorizing sale, recycling, and/or destruction of said personal property.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jody Lees, Franklin County Human Resources. As stated, this resolution requests authorization for Benefits and Wellness to sell, recycle, or destroy outdated or damaged items. These items could include outdated 5K medals, damaged T-shirts, or items displaying the old cooperative logo. So pending any questions, I request approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 527-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 527-23 has been adopted.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Jody.
Thank you.
Purchasing.
Resolution number 528-23, resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $3,104,185.23.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Perry Valinier, Director of Purchasing, and joining me is Tamika Bumper, Economic Equity Administrator in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This resolution requests your approval of 60 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. I'll turn it over to Tamika for the supplier diversity data. Good morning, Tamika.
Good morning. 9 of the purchase orders being presented today are awarded to small emerging businesses totaling $1,146,803.01. 7% are being awarded to small emerging businesses, 2% to disadvantage-owned businesses, 3% to minority-owned businesses, and 3% to women-owned businesses. Once approved, 2 agencies have provided equitable and inclusive opportunities to small businesses this week. Those agencies include Engineers Office and Public Facilities Management. Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 528-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 52823 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks,
you.
Megan. Thanks, Tamika. To the Board of Commissioners, we have a public hearing for the resolution 52923. Madam Clerk, can you please read the public hearing?
Resolution to consider the adoption of the fiscal year 2024 tax budget for Franklin County.
All right, I'd like to open the public hearing for this resolution. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to this public hearing? Seeing none, I'd like to close the public hearing and have the clerk read the resolution into the record.
Resolution number 52923, resolution authorizing the adoption of the fiscal year 2024 tax budget for Franklin County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Telerik with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution would authorize the fiscal year 2024 tax budget for Franklin County. Pursuant to Section 5705.28 of the revised code, the tax budget for the next succeeding fiscal year must be approved by July 15th. The tax budget is a financial plan for the operations of the next fiscal year. It identifies how much money is expected from local, state, and federal sources, the anticipated carryover fund balances, and how much is needed to carry out governmental functions in the next fiscal year. The tax budget is submitted to the County Budget Commission and is required for the receipt of allocations from the local government fund, as well as various property tax levies in the upcoming year. In addition, the Office of Management and Budget uses this tax budget to develop guidelines for county entities as they begin entering their 2024 budget requests, which will be incorporated into the annual appropriation measure that will be presented for your consideration and approval in December. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for approval of Resolution 52923.
Second?
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 52923 has been adopted. Resolution number 53023. Resolution based on the advice and notification of the Columbus Metropolitan Library Board of Trustees to submit the question of an additional tax levy for the public library services to the electors of Columbus Metropolitan Library on the November 7th, 2023 general election.
Commissioners, this resolution would authorize to be on the ballot a levy for 1.5 mills for the Columbus Metropolitan Library. As a county library district, the Board of Commissioners is the taxing authority for the Columbus Metropolitan Library. With us today are Patrick Lazinski, CEO, and Lauren Hagan, CFO of the Columbus Metropolitan Library. If they have a few words on this resolution.
Would you guys like to?
Well, good morning, Commissioners. My pleasure to be here along with our CFO, Lauren Hagan. We've put together an extensive review packet for you to look at. I think there's really sound planning by the Library Board of Trustees. We happen to have the benefit of Nationwide CFO Tim Frohmeyer, who is our finance chair, and so we believe the recommendation is sound from a financial standpoint, but I think it really reflects the work of the library over the last 13 years since our last levy, which was in 2010. And I think the library has delivered not only on a service level, but I think the facilities that we've delivered over the last 13 years are really a shining example in all of the neighborhoods throughout Franklin County. I think our planning remains strong and our commitment to the community remains strong. And so we appreciate your consideration of this request to have our district voters vote on a levy this November.
Go ahead, please, Commissioner.
Thank you, President O'Grady. If you were tuning in last Thursday, if not, somebody probably should have given you a heads up, because since we are the taxing authority and congratulations on 150 years. Let me start out saying that. And your commitment to the library and our commitment to the library. But as you have talked about, like, the library is in the county, and I know that the name is Columbus Metropolitan Library, and I would submit that you take this back to your board. I say all the time that the city is in the county isn't in the city, and with this going to the voters of Franklin County, I would like for it to reflect, the name to reflect the voters of Franklin County, similar to like what we have in Toledo, like it's Toledo Lucas County Public Library, and this might come as a surprise, but as we continue to talk about investments, this isn't the first time I've talked about this with other organizations. Other organizations understand as they expand to other parts of the county, whether it's in Gahanna, Reynoldsburg, Groveport, Dublin, that it should reflect everyone in Franklin County, especially those who will be using their taxpayer dollars to support the ongoing work of the library. And so, and we just appointed to the board not too long ago, made an appointment based on your recommendation to the board, and we continue to support that work. And I can't speak for my colleagues. I just said it last Thursday. I was going to say it today. So this only reflects Commissioner Erica Crowley, but I am serious about making sure that my commitment is to make sure that all of our residents feel like they are included in the work of the library and they continue to support it, not just within the city of Columbus.
Yeah, if I could just comment on that, I do believe that the Toledo Lucas Library encompasses all of the libraries within Lucas County, whereas the Columbus Metropolitan Library is one of seven libraries in. So I think that that's probably where the name had shifted in the past with those 6 independent libraries. I think so, but I'm sorry, I didn't know that you had talked about it last Thursday. I apologize for that.
Well, I wasn't here Thursday. I apologize. I was out of town. I do tend to agree with my colleague on that issue. I will say this. It's impressive that after you haven't been here in 13 years. It's also impressive to notice over the last 13 years the work that's been done. Not only the construction that's been done throughout the community. Everybody, as we do as county commissioners, but as the community does. When you get around the county, when you get around the community and you see the work that's been done, the infrastructure work that's been done to the libraries throughout the community, that's been impressive. But also to see the work that's been done in the libraries, that's also been impressive. My family, we use the library systems. We don't just use the one in our area, I've been in libraries throughout the community for any number of reasons, whether it's public meetings that we attend as county commissioners or just out of convenience. We've been in the libraries throughout Central Ohio and throughout Franklin County. It's amazing to see the work that's being done inside the walls of the libraries. And it's a testament to your organization, to your staff, to the employees of the library system. And so all of that done with the levy dollars that were voted on 13 years ago. Oftentimes, our levy review committee has folks that come back to us, ask us to put things on the ballot when when the committee and the Board of Commissioners aren't necessarily always in agreement with things going to the ballot for any number of reasons. And so for you to not come back for 13 years and to be able to stay within the confines of those levy dollars over such a long period of time, and to do the kind of work that you've done both in the buildings and from an infrastructure standpoint, to be able to produce the product that you've produced for the community is impressive. And so, want to commend you and your board and your staff and everybody for producing that result for not only the residents of the community, but the taxpayers of the community. And so thank you for that.
We appreciate it. In closing, since I have the floor, I want to mention that we are hosting the first ever book festival this summer, which will bring 140 national authors to the main library. It's the first time the city has granted Topiary Park to be used as a festival ground. So we're expecting a very large contingent in celebration of our 150th year. So we want to extend our invitation to you. And then looking ahead, the first week of April 2024, we host the National Public Library Association Conference, which should bring 6,000 to 7,000 librarians from all over the United States to see what we've been doing in Central Ohio. So I think it also is a testament to the visibility of our library district. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Arnold, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I appreciate the partnership also with Future Ready Columbus, which will have an announcement here in the near future, but with our backpacks. And so, you know, we have continued to invest in those, the backpacks for kiddos and their families. We switched it up just not too long ago from our regular backpacks that were like $7 to ones that you all had recommended that are like $60 per backpack. But the information and the resources that are in those backpacks, absolutely worth it and invaluable, and excited about that ongoing partnership or expanded partnership and collaboration.
So Pat, I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but you know, my mother was, my late mother, God love her, she didn't like to be called a librarian. She had a degree in media science. She was a media center specialist, as she liked to refer to herself. She was the librarian at my elementary school growing up. So, you know, we had a love for books growing up. And when I was a kid, you know, when I would get in trouble at school, which was quite frequently, I was raised by nuns. I didn't get sent to the principal's office. I got sent to the library. And if anybody, you know, people in the room knew my dad, I would get sent to the library. I would, you know, which was more fearful than being sent to the office to see the principal. And then when I would get sent to the library, when I got home, I would be in trouble twice because, you know, I'd get in trouble from my mom and then I'd get in trouble from my dad. So, so I spent a lot of time in the library as a kid. You know, so it's, you know, libraries are near and dear to my heart. So appreciate all the hard work, as I said earlier, that you guys have done and all the great work that you've done in the community. And Columbus Metropolitan Libraries, Columbus Franklin County Metropolitan Libraries are well known throughout the community. Just had a conversation last week with some folks that have done some great work with you guys from around the country. So thank you for all that you do, and we are, I'm sure, happy to be passing this resolution to put you guys on the ballot.
Mm-hmm. All right. If there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 530-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 530-23 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Resolution number 531-23, resolution appointing Michael Shannon to the Franklin County Conventions Facility Authority Board. Commissioners, pending any questions, asking for your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 531-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 531-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 532-23, resolution appointing Janika A. Pierce Tucker to the Franklin County Conventions Facilities Authority Board of Directors. Commissioners, pending any questions, asking for your approval on this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 532-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 532-23 has been adopted. Resolution number 533-23, resolution appointing Emmett Kelly to the Franklin County Conventions Facilities Authority Board of Directors. Pending any questions, asking for your approval on this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 533-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 533-23 has been adopted.
All right. Madam Clerk, are there any journalizations?
Yes, we have three. Resolution number 44523, which was adopted by the Franklin County Board of Commissioners during general session on Tuesday, May 30th, 2023, contained a scrivener's error. The agency Dedicated Tech Services Incorporated was listed in the body of the resolution, but the contract with this entity was not attached at the time of passage. All the contracts in the resolution are the same, with the exception of the name of the entity. This journalization serves as notice that the contract with Dedicated Tech Services Incorporated has been provided to the Board of Commissioners for approval consistent with the requirements of Resolution 44523. And then we have two other journalizations to read. Case number ANX-25-23, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition. ANX-25-23 was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on June 16, 2023. The petition is requesting to annex 7.8 acres from Norwich Township to the city of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on July 18, 2023. The sites are 4747 Dublin Road, PID number 200-000554, and 4781 Dublin Road, PID number 201-000002. And finally, case number ANX-26-23, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition. ANX-26-23 was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on June 16, 2023. The petition is requesting to annex 6.1 acres from Norwich Township to the city of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on July 18, 2023. The site is 4723 Dublin Road, PID number 200-000050 and 200-000203.
All right, thank you. Is there any media either on the call or present in the room that would like to speak with the commissioners on any topic? All right, hearing and seeing none, that concludes our business for June 27th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, our next meeting will be